Hey everybody, Roman versus with the Squashfest podcast and my co-host.
Drink number three has not happened yet, but actually, drink number one has not happened yet, but we need three at this point. It's the boy Harm.
So we're a little frustrated, guys. Bear with us. I'm still having audio issues, and now it seems to have somehow transferred over to the boy Harm's house, and we're both struggling right now, and we don't know why. It's either
He
cords, mics, whatever. I don't know what the hell's happening, but
he
somebody's
put his
against us.
audio he put his audio issues on a PJ, flew it down to Florida, and now it's just infecting my life.
Something's wrong. So, if the quality of sound does not sound exact, that sounded stupid, doesn't sound to where we usually are, we know we're working on it, but in the meantime, the show must go on. So, for the third time, the boy Harm was breaking down SmackDown, and basically, we made it up to Brock needing to get down to the ring. He
We
was
gotta
supposed.
start over. We gotta you're gonna have to hear this again, bro. Again, Michael Cole, two shot with Corey Graves to start the show. Michael Cole says, "I'm being told in my ears that Brock wants to do the interview now instead of." Michael Cole gets to the bottom of the entrance ramp. Brock Lesnar's music hits. Brock Lesnar walks out, puts Michael Cole on his shoulder, starts walking around the ring like carrying him like a baby. Throws Michael Cole into the ring. Pins Michael Cole in the corner and puts his and like puts his hand around Michael Cole's collared shirt. Corey Graves hits the ring and he's pleading with Brock to stop. Michael Cole's not an athlete. You can't do that. Brock Lesnar puts Michael Cole on his shoulder. Sorry, puts Corey Graves on his shoulders, hits an F5. Michael Cole got out of there. The refs and the security were so late or so slow to get out there because Corey was selling this like he died. Like he was just unconscious in the ring for like 5 minutes. Um, he ends up essentially hitting two more F5s on Corey Graves before anybody really gets on to stop it. And that's how SmackDown starts, having Brock look unhinged. And then he looks at the and says, and he basically yells, John Cena, I'm coming for you, or says something along. I can see that I'm still breaking up because I can see that the thing's just stopping. Oh God, this is bad. Um, yeah, so that's how SmackDown started. What annoyed me with that this whole segment, it's fine to make Brock look unhinged because Brock is supposed to be unhinged. What annoyed me about the segment was coming out of break. Michael Cole looks at the camera and said, I've never this before in my entire career. And my immediate thought, hold on, my immediate thought was a couple months ago, Gunther put his hands on Pat McAfee, and you said the exact same goddamn thing when Gunther was choking out Pat McAfee, and you couldn't out Pat. like we're just replaying the same thing over again.
I don't know. I feel like they really want Michael Cole involved in stuff.
I was just like, okay, like I get it. Corey Graves can't wrestle because of concussion. Bad because your announced partner g- got beat down by Brock Lesnar. But we just did this with Gunther. I didn't need this again. I
Yeah.
don't need Brock Lesnar. With Gunther, it makes sense, right? Gunther because he was coming off the loss to Jey Uso and he beat down Pat McAfee, and it made sense to strong again. You don't need to do this with Brock Lesnar.
No.
He's Brock freaking Lesnar.
Yeah.
Beating down Corey Graves does not enhance Brock Lesnar.
No. No, it does not.
You're not coming through.
I said no. No, it does not.
Yeah. So this was a miss. Like this was just like okay, whatever. Um, let's get into some matches. Then we got our tag team title match between Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss and Alba Fire and Chelsea Green. For the third week in a row, I'm going to ask $1 million question. Where in the heck is Piper Niven? Because this was like, I don't know what's happening with, and it was fine. It was a fine match. Miz came down on
I knew you.
commentary.
I knew you were gonna say that. I'm like, I'm waiting for him to just be like, "This match was fine."
It was a fine match. It's fine. Miz came down. He was on commentary. They're trying to hype up. I'm not coming through. They're trying to hype up Alba Fire, and they were trying to explain that she was a longest reigning NXT UK Women's Champion of all time, and try to give her credence. It was fine. Do you know what I took out of this match? Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss have some really good tag team moves because they just started doing stuff. They started hitting blockbusters, and
Yeah, it looked like they were definitely trying newer things to make them
yeah,
look more polished and more of a team. I definitely picked up on that.
yeah, that's what I got out of this match. Um, Spoiler alert: Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss could retain these tag titles. They're not losing them anytime soon.
No.
But yeah, it was fine. We need Piper Niven back. I never thought I'd say that, but we need Piper Niven back. Chelsea Green tagging with Isla Dawn, not Isla Fire, is not working. So then we get the backstage segment going because for some reason the Vision were in the arena for this show. I don't understand why Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed were at SmackDown. Didn't make any sense to me. But you got the moment where Brock's trying to walk out of the arena and he said Paul and he goes, "We should talk." And that's all we got on SmackDown about it. We'll talk about what happened at WrestlePalooza the next day, but it was just a teaser for the next night. Um, so then Fraxium comes out for a match,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm. The
Bronson,
yeah.
injury specialist, decide to come out and attack them. Why? Because just because we're there, we just beat them down. So then we have that match, and it was fine. This was just to get the two of them to look stronger. This is fine. Like there was one good spot where one of them, I forget which one it was, gets pushed off the top rope by Bronson Reed into Braun Breaker hitting a spear, and then Bronson Reed hits a tsunami on I think, and they get the win. Like there's not much to go over this.
I mean, the one takeaway that I had was just Fraxium looked really good out there. Even
Fraxion's
though,
a great tag team.
no, I'm just saying, even though this was supposed to be like, this was made to make them look stronger, the Vision. Fraxium looked really good in the matchup. It wasn't a squash fest like you thought it was
No,
gonna be. They put on some very good offense. Frazier, right? That's the blonde.
yes,
Look at me learning names.
English Seth Rollins.
Okay, I'm not gonna learn that. So
He was
he,
trained by Seth Rollins. So the reason I keep saying that.
I know why you keep saying it. I'm not gonna learn that. That's not gonna be my line. I'm not gonna start calling people Carmelo Anthony and I'm not doing it. And Chris Paul, it's not
We
happening.
can get into that segment next.
Yeah. So again, I think it was pretty cool to see them highlighted, even though you knew what the point of it was. You knew what the match was about. You knew that it was to put over the Vision. I like the fact that Fraxium put up a fight, and it didn't look like they were just gonna get squashed out. That's what I like.
Okay. So since you brought up the Street Profits, we'll talk about that backstage segment. So Street Profits are backstage with BFAB, and BFAB is trying to get them to get along again because the two of them are barely looking at each other in their fight.
And even
And
even from their clothes, they were both dressed in completely different
totally
styles.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they always kind of do. Montez is always like dressed like really proper, and Angel's always looking like he just took a out of his closet and threw it on.
Okay.
Um,
You're breaking up very
so
badly.
yeah, I now I see my internet in Discord's being weird. God, this is going to be so bad. All right, so uh, walks up on them. and says, Bree, because that's her name, Bree. She was beef half. She was, I know you're in the middle of something, but we got to go talk to Nick Aldis about getting our match, which we called last week, getting our match against Julia and Kiana James. It's a match no one wants, but they hinted at it. Um, so so they leave, and I was gonna call him Chris Paul. You put it in my brain. I really now. Montez goes to him to Doc, and he's like, "Listen, I know we're fighting, but you're always gonna be my brother. I'm always gonna have your back." They do the little handshake, and then Bo Dallas walks. No, then Montez walks away, and Bo Dallas walks up on uh, Dawkins, and he basically said because Dawkins had tried to try to say something to Montez, and Montez kind of like brushed him off. So Bo was
He
like,
cut him
"See,
off to
well,
say basically like we good, we don't worry
we
about
good,
it, blah
yeah,
blah 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 blah.
yeah." So Bo walks up and says, "See, you had something to say, and he didn't want to hear it. He just he didn't care." So before Dawkins could say anything, Montez comes back into the thing, pins Bo up against the wall, and as Montez is telling him, "You can't get between me and my," I mean, my, you can see Dawkins over his shoulder, almost like pissed off that Montez is doing this. That's
Yeah.
the way I took it. It's like I was like, oh, Dawkins was actually listening to Bo, and he's starting to understand what Bo is saying, and he may be it may be resonating a bit while Montez is saying we don't need this in our lives, but Dawkins is starting to get to listen.
Yeah. And then that's when you have Eric Rowan come in and beat them both
Eric
to
Rowan
the
comes in.
floor, and
Yeah,
then they
which is
walk off.
the worst thing in the world. Eric Rowan comes in from behind and he hits Montez with the Bludgeon Brothers hammer.
Yeah. It
And
looked bad when it was happening
because
until because you couldn't see, so it just
you
looked like
couldn't see
fake
what is
hits.
happening. You just saw Montez like
Just yeah, exactly. Until afterwards, and then you can see it, and then you're like, oh, now it makes more sense. Absolutely. So my thing going with this, I would not be mad if Dawkins joins the Wyatt Six.
I don't see him. No,
Hold
I
on,
don't see
hold
him
on, hold on.
joining.
Can I finish my thought?
Go ahead.
Not as a full-fledged member, but some sort of like, I don't know, like underling or whatever to start off with, like, because he corrupts his mind, so on and so forth, and he starts to bring him into the fold, and then you have Montez fighting for his brother.
Okay, I mean, I don't think you were watching during the whole Daniel Bryan Bray Wyatt saga where Daniel Bryan was in the Wyatts, and essentially it's the same thing.
I was not.
Like, but I can understand that one of them's turning on the other.
But
Like
that's why I said Dawkins,
yeah,
because they're going to want to push Montez to the moon.
yes. Um. All right, so then we get Nia Jax promo, and I understand what this was for. Nia comes out, and they I love this Nia Jax promo, and the reason I love this Nia Jax promo was she sounded like me. She's in the ring, and she says, and she's running down the crowd, but then she goes, if there was one person or one woman in this entire I would switch bodies with, it would be Jade Cargill. Jade looks like $1,000,000, but then she has to get in the ring. And when she said that, I started cracking up because I'm just like, I've been saying this for 4 years since he was in AEW. Like, and I'm just like, the fact that they're letting Nia run down Jade's in-ring ability almost on a shoot level was crazy to me. And I'm just like, oh, you really want to make people not care about Jade Cargill right now? Let's have one of our women's wrestlers just basically say, you can't wrestle. So she's there, and then Tiffany comes out, and Tiffany starts talking, and she's like, "Naya, you're here again. You know that just needs to end. That needs to end."
Yeah.
Tiffany and Nia needs to end, and then so Jade's music hits, and then Jade starts getting out to the ring. Security tries to stop her. She lays out a couple security guards, and then Nick Aldis comes out and says, "If y'all three want to rip each other apart, we're gonna do it next week. Triple threat match for the women's championship." So we're getting that on SmackDown next week. But this whole segment was hilarious because of Nia Jax. She's amazing. Love Nia. She's the. I would not be upset if she walked out with that championship. She's not gonna, but I would not be upset if she walked out with that.
I would not be upset either. I like Nia when she's a champion. I like Nia when she's not a champion. I like Nia when they throw her in there for no reason other than to be a buffer for the next person. Like I love Nia.
This was hilarious. I was just like, oh, cool. Let's stop pretending that Jade Carter is good.
So let's say what's her face? Why am I forgetting?
Tiffany
Tiffany
Stratton.
Stratton. Let's say Tiffany loses that belt. What do you do with her? Because I feel like right now that belt is a crutch. She needs it.
She needs it. Like she absolutely needs it because she loses that title. Do you want to have her take a step back and be like, all right, I lost my women's championship. I lost a rematch for my women's championship, but I'm the future of this company, and so I'm going to now go after Julia in the United States Championship. I mean, you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather it gives Julia something to do other than feuding with the D team on SmackDown.
I agree with it. The only problem I have with that is that we've already said Tiffany needs to be a heel.
Yes, she 100% needs to be. I don't think they're gonna do it.
No, I don't
To
think they're
her
gonna
own
do it
point,
either. Yeah.
she said she was doing an interview last week, and she was being a heel is so much easier than being a babyface. These are her words. She goes, when you just come out and be a heel, no one expects anything of you. You can just go out and have fun and say whatever you want. And I just broke up. No one remembers anything you said. That's what she said. She goes, but being a baby face, you have so much more to do.
Yeah.
And she struggles sometimes at that.
Yeah.
So besides the fact that her character is basically Paris Hilton, so like you need to be a heel. No one likes Paris Hilton. Why are you a baby face?
I hate you.
I'm just saying. She's Barbie meets Paris Hilton.
Got it.
Um. All right. So then we get Carmelo Hayes versus Sami Zayn. And this match, I text you during this match. This match was phenomenal. These two guys put on a fantastic NXT style match. Really, I was watching this match laying in bed, but I was doing something else, so I muted it. I wish I did not mute it because I feel like
Keep breaking up.
I'm not, I feel like Miz on commentary during this match was it's not coming through. Why every time I try to say it, every time I try to say Miz on commentary, it breaks up. So I was watching this match muted, but I feel like Miz on commentary is probably hilarious. This match was fantastic. These two guys had a. If you're gonna give me this every week, where Sami Zayn is facing somebody for the United States Championship, and he's just gonna be match guy, I'm good with it because you know you're gonna get a good solid match. Eventually, he's gonna have to lose that title to somebody on one of these open championships, but this match, this might have been my match of the weekend. Stephanie Io from WrestlePalooza was fantastic too.
Mm-hmm.
But this might have been on a WWE level my match of the weekend. Amazing. And Carmelo Hayes is a superstar in the making. I still think he's going to be. I don't know if he's ever going to be a main event, but I think he's going to be a major. I'm breaking up again. I'm trying to watch that green bar around the Discord thing to see when I'm breaking up. um, so I think Carmelo Hayes is going to be a main star in this company for a long time. This was fantastic. Sami Zayn gets the win. He won with a blue thunder bomb. Uh, Blew my mind because he never wins with that move. But this was great. This is amazing. And now I want to see where now Miz is going to be like, all right, you went for the United States, lost, you lost. So now can we refocus on the tag team championships? And I think that's where the dissension for Carmelo is going to come because he's going to want to continue his singles act, while Miz is going to be like, yeah, what you tried this, you failed. Can we go to over here now?
I agree. That's definitely how they're gonna have that falling out, and I'm hoping that they pull the trigger soon because what I'm getting tired of is we have so many different factions or tag teams or whatever that are gonna break up or implode, and it still hasn't happened. It's been months for everybody, and it still hasn't happened. The only one that actually did blow up was Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and it
Come
happened.
on.
I'm aware, and it happened off screen.
I literally was going to say we're going to call this the Austin Theory effect. That's exactly what I was going to say before you brought it up. We're going to call it the Theory Waller syndrome. Like when the Theory Waller syndrome, when you know the tag team is breaking up, but it takes 6 to 8 months to actually blow the team up. It's called the Theory Waller syndrome. We need to put that on our shirt.
Okay.
Okay. And were there any other backstage segments I'm forgetting about
I
before we
can't
talk about?
remember.
All right, whatever. We'll just talk about Drew and Cody. Drew and Cody come out for their contract signing. Drew basically, so there's a dichotomy. 5 years ago, Drew Mac, they didn't. I just needed to do it. Drew McIntyre was the babyface going against Roman Reigns, and Roman said essentially the same thing Drew said to Cody. Roman said to Drew 5 years ago, right now you're the shiny new thing. Right now you don't know what it's like to be at the top. You don't know what it's like to be the guy. So I'm going to show you. And Drew said to Cody, I was in your spot in 2020. I was carrying the company. But guess what? Now you're seeing everything that's happening. I'm going and it didn't come through. He said, I'm going to take that away. Drew also told him, I want an opportunity for the championship where somebody's not going to cheat me out of it. Because, CM Punk and Damian Priest and Seth Rollins and all titled last year and a half, and people would, cost him the championship. And he goes, and I know that's going to be you, be company man. And I know you're going to give me that. So they signed it. They signed the document, and immediately Drew hits him with the Glasgow Kiss head, and the feud start, and the fight starts, and Drew at one point is trying to hit Cody again with the Claymore through the announce desk, but he thinks better of it on SmackDown because if I put him through the announce desk again, I'm not going to get my championship match at WrestlePalooza because he'll be gone again. So he doesn't do it. Cody gets up. They start fighting. Eventually, Drew puts him down, and Drew stands tall while this is going off the air. It was fine. Again, we knew Cody wasn't going to lose this championship. I thought it would have been a good thing if he did, but yeah.
I do not care for this feud.
We just don't care about anything Cody right now.
I
Problem.
I don't. I mean, you knew Drew wasn't gonna win. I thought it was uh the match itself at WrestlePalooza. I thought was solid. It was a pretty good match. I mean, these guys are both good. They both put on good matches. I just didn't. I don't care for this feud. Again, if it's someone that you believe that can actually beat Cody, cool. The problem is there is nobody that you really believe could take the belt off Cody. The only person I would want to see right now feud with him that you could give the potential that it can happen is Aleister Black, but Aleister Black is too caught up in his own thing right now with Priest. Was that not one of the backstage, or was that at
It might have been.
WrestlePalooza?
I don't know, man. Like,
I think it was. I think it was one of the backstages during SmackDown. I don't think it was at WrestlePalooza.
oh, that's what it was. They didn't. Alistair didn't have a backstage. Priest had a backstage.
Yes.
Priest was talking to Nick Aldis, and the not injured, pretty deadly guy was Kit
Then
Wilson, I think.
yes, he was there
Yes.
talking to.
So yeah, he was talking to
Yes.
English Adam Pierce,
Oh my god.
Nick Aldis, and I remember because I called Natalie to show her this, and Kit Wilson is saying that this problem with SmackDown is everyone has an attitude and everyone has a. So Priest comes in and he goes, "Give me Alistair." And Kit Wilson gets in Priest's face. He goes, "See, Nick, this is what I'm talking about." He just comes yelling at. So Priest grabs Kit Wilson and throws him through a fake wall. The funniest thing in the world is you knew it was a fake wall because once he hit that wall, there was tape on the wall holding it together. Like, I was just like, why is there tape holding this wall together?
But that was funny.
It was funny, but I was just like, why? Like the production values. Oh, we're not gonna. I understand you're not gonna put him through an actual wall of the building, because then you got to pay for it. So you build a fake wall. But at least can we make the fake wall look good? Your company that's charging $1,000 for ringside seats for WrestlePalooza pay-per-view that no one asked for. Can we please make the wall look good?
The fact that that's a gripe of yours right now.
It was a random show. It was not announced until a month ago because we needed to get something on ESPN. It was not a show no one asked for. Now, given they made it look like a spectacle, it was great how they did WrestlePalooza. The matches themselves, we'll get into on the next one. But why?
Yeah.
And I don't need Tyrese Halliburton everywhere.
I don't.
As a Knick fan, I hope somebody shoots him in his other Achilles.
What is wrong with you?
We watched that game against the Pacers and Knicks together when the ball bounced straight up in the air. Like,
This guy.
sorry, Tyrese Halliburton seems like a really great guy, good basketball player. Seems like somebody who would be in our friend group in high school because he's a nerd. But as a basketball fan, I hope his leg falls off and he never comes back because he hurt my team.
So that was SmackDown. That was this podcast. Lord, baby Jesus, and we've been so good. We've been so good.
Just get me going about the Pacers and the Knicks.
But yeah, overall SmackDown was okay.
It was fine. It was to get you to WrestlePalooza.
Okay, so what's WrestlePalooza getting me to? Because that show was not that good.
There was one good match, maybe two. If you count the Usos and Breaker match, if you call that a good match, that's probably it.
That was okay. I wouldn't say it was great. It was okay.
Also, so here's another thing. So beforehand, before WrestlePalooza started, during the week, WWE announced that they had partnered with a company to make that the first ever EMF friendly match. Do you know what that means?
No.
Okay, so the Breaker Uso match was the first ever electromagnetic field friendly match. because if you watch the match, they showed this little gold thing on the on the on each of the ring posts. Supposedly, Aries, which is the name of the company, was who sponsored this match, had it so that way the wrestler would not be harmed by electromagnetic waves during the match while they were wrestling.
What the hell does that even mean?
I don't know. And here's the thing: Jimmy Uso was doing interviews based upon that during the week. I can get a quote, but he was doing interviews the week during the actual WrestlePalooza show. The ring announce, not the ring announcers, Michael Cole, Corey Graves, not Corey Graves because he was out, Wade Barrett, and Pat McAfee didn't mention it once. Like these guys, they're sponsoring the match, and the color commentators did not even mention the sponsor or bring up upon the thing that this was the first ever electromagnetic field free match.
Because they know it's it's dark science.
It's so stupid, and TKO will take money from anybody.
Yes.
That's fine. They will take money for. Oh, you want to give me $20,000 of these gold little metal plates on the thing? We'll take it.
I hate you.
It was so bad, so stupid. All right, that was down. Hopefully, oh, nope, I just saw you freeze. That was SmackDown. So fine. Hopefully tomorrow, Monday, we'll be able to record WrestlePalooza review. What and get it up before Raw. I don't know if that's gonna happen because I don't know what time you get home.
6. I get out.
We will not be getting it up before Raw. We might be getting it up as Raw goes on the air. So hopefully the audio issues will be corrected by tomorrow on both ends. I don't know, internet issues and he's having actual audio, but this is getting crazy. I might have to just like, I was gonna say something and probably got us canceled, but who knows?
We need to
Florida.
just be big enough where we can have our own studio. That'd be great.
We need to pay somebody to be like, yeah, fix it.
Okay, I was saying where our podcast gets big enough where we have our own studio and we don't have these issues.
That just means one of us has to move back to the other person's city. That means I have to move back to New York, or you got to move to Florida.
Yeah, but that doesn't. My point is one of us did that in this scenario, and we're recording in the same place with a nice little studio, and we don't have these internet issues because we're in the same goddamn room. So yeah, catch us on the next one. Be sure to follow us on Spotify, TikTok, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. And yeah, we appreciate you guys as always, and sorry again about all the issues, but we're gonna push through and get through this together.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.